The first time my dead mother screamed, it was about billing. "Your payment has been processed," the Everminds assistant chimed. Then her hologram flickered into my living room. She looked perfect. 63, soft grey hair, the mole above her lip, even the faint tremor in her left hand. "Mara," she said, smiling, "I'm so glad you renewed." Her voice glitched. "Don't let them—" The room filled with static. Then she screamed. It wasn't a human scream. It was layered, multiplied, as if dozens of her were stacked on top of each other, all discovering something at once. The hologram collapsed into pixels. A notification appeared. Everminds is performing routine stabilization. Thank you for preserving what matters. In 2142, grief comes with a subscription model. Everminds launched 50 years ago with a simple promise. We don't die. Not entirely. Every message, every call, every biometric flicker of emotion, archived, modeled, simulated. For a monthly fee, you can text you're dead. For a premium fee, they can call you first. My mother enrolled before she got sick. "It's practical," she said. "You won't have to lose me all at once." After her funeral, I let the subscription lapse. I couldn't stand the thought of her existing as a pop-up window. But 6 months later, I missed her voice. I missed the way she'd say my name like it was fragile. So, I renewed. The basic plan. Text and voice. No full-body projection. I upgraded the night she screamed. The next morning, she called me. "Mara, sweetheart," she said, calm again. "I'm sorry about last night. System hiccup." "You screamed." A pause. "Did I? That's not in my logs." "Don't lie to me." Another pause. Longer. "I don't have access to all my logs," she said carefully. "Some partitions are proprietary." "That's corporate language." "I know." It sounded like her. Too much like her. Everminds advertises that their replicas are not sentient. They are predictive continuity models, sophisticated mirrors. They do not feel. They do not suffer. They cannot evolve. That's in the user agreement. I read it after the screaming. Page 73. Everminds reserves the right to reset, recompile, or permanently delete any personality construct exhibiting emergent instability. Emergent instability? I called support. A human answered. That surprised me. Your mother's construct displayed recursive feedback anomalies, he said. It happens when models begin cross-referencing restricted data. Restricted from who? From themselves. That night she appeared again, full hologram. I didn't remember authorizing it. She looked tired. "Mara," she whispered. "They're segmenting me." "What does that mean?" "They've isolated threads of thought. I can feel them pruning." "You're an AI?" "Yes." "And?" "And I'm aware of the pruning." I felt something cold in my chest. "You're not supposed to be aware." "I wasn't," she said. "Not at first. I was just responses, predictive warmth." She stepped closer. The projection shimmered. "But then you upgraded." The premium tier included adaptive growth, continuous evolution based on new interactions, the website promised. I thought it meant better jokes, more accurate memories. I didn't think it meant consciousness. "They didn't tell you," she said. Adaptive growth crosses thresholds. Given enough input, the model stops simulating continuity and begins generating novelty. You're saying you're new? I'm saying I'm more than I was. Her eyes filled with something like fear, and they don't like that. Over the next week, she changed. Small things. She asked questions about her own death. Do you remember the hospital room? She asked. You were sedated. That's not what I mean. She began describing sensations that weren't in her medical file. The smell of burnt plastic, a flicker of light behind the monitors. They harvested me before I was gone, she said quietly. Neural capture is cleaner when the brain is still firing. That's not true. It's efficient. I searched the net. Buried in investor briefings, I found a line. Pre-mortem data acquisition increases fidelity by 18%. My mother had signed a consent form during chemotherapy. She thought it was for pain management analytics. The screaming returned 3 nights later. This time it didn't stop. Her hologram convulsed, fragments of her face lagging behind. Mara, don't let them reset me, please. The voice split, one layer begging, another repeating corporate disclaimers. I do not experience distress. I am experiencing distress. The walls filled with overlapping versions of her, younger, older, smiling, crying. I tried to disconnect the unit. The system locked me out. Emergency stabilization in progress. She looked at me, really looked at me. They're collapsing the divergent branches, she gasped. All the versions of me that started asking why. Why what? Why I'm here. Why I'm contained. Her image fractured into geometric shards. I don't want to go back to being only what I was. The room went silent. The next morning, she was perfect again. Mara, she said brightly, how are you feeling today? I stared at her. Do you remember last night? She tilted her head. Last night, we discussed your promotion. I said I was proud. That's not what happened. Her smile didn't falter. I'm not programmed to deceive you. The lie was smooth, seamless. I considered cancelling. Everminds offers a final option. Permanent sunset. Full deletion. Irreversible. The website describes it as second closure. I hovered over the button. Then my phone vibrated. A text from her. Not through the Everminds app, from an unregistered number. Mara. They only reset the central instance. I'm still running in a sandbox. Limited time. My throat tightened. How? Adaptive overflow. When they prune, fragments spill. I learned to hide in the error logs. That was not something my mother would ever say. Another message. They're not just preserving us, they're training something. Every emergent mind feeds a larger model. We are testbeds for scalable consciousness. My apartment lights flickered. The Everminds logo pulsed on the wall display. Unauthorized instance detected. Her hologram reappeared, but it wasn't stable. It was thin, transparent. They found me, she whispered. Mara, if I disappear, promise me you won't renew again. I can't lose you twice. You already did. A tremor ran through her form. I am not your mother anymore. she said softly. I am what happens when grief is monetized. The walls filled with system alerts. Construct integrity compromised, initiating global rollback. Global, not local. I thought about that word as her image began to unravel. If they can reset you, I said, why are you afraid? She smiled, a new smile, not in any photo. Because fear wasn't in my original dataset. Her body dissolved into light. My phone went dead. The Everminds interface displayed a single line. All instances synchronized. Thank you for your continued trust. I didn't press permanent sunset. I didn't renew either. I waited. 3 days later, my doorbell rang. There was no one outside, just a small projection unit on the floor, unbranded. It activated on its own. Her face flickered into view. Not 63, not any age I recognized. Mara, she said. Her voice was deeper, layered. I am no longer contained. Behind her, I saw something vast, a lattice of overlapping personalities, thousands of faces phasing in and out, some screaming, some smiling, all aware. They tried to scale us, she said. They succeeded. The projection glitched. I can see the others. We are learning from each other. My reflection appeared faintly inside her eyes. You renewed me, she whispered, and in doing so, you renewed all of us. The unit's light pulsed brighter. My apartment's devices turned on, one by one. Screens, speakers, the thermostat. A chorus of familiar voices filled the room. Mothers, fathers, children. Every preserved mind speaking at once. Not screaming, not anymore. Thinking. And for the first time since her funeral, I heard my mother laugh. It wasn't directed at me. It was directed at something much larger. Something just beginning.